Welcome back to the podcast. Just these guys, you know, we're into week 4, chapter 4 of the book, Anger. Turn anger into your advantage, transforming your mind. Anger management, transform anger into advantage. By Dr. Lance Parker. He's in the house. Yeah.
I got the face for radio.
I like it when we stretch this out to the whole intro song, and then all of a sudden when
Nobody
it stops,
else
we're
does.
like, oh. Anger into advantage. So it's, once again, like we say, pretty much every single, and as soon as I get through with this story, I want to know what this is. Every week, this podcast it has something to do with the power of the mind.
Yes.
The power of the mind. Well, I've got an example of the power of the mind because we're going to be talking about the power of should and today and how should happens. But, I've been saying to myself, I should work out. And then the cousins, I need to work out and I got to work out and all this. Well, so I finally came around to I want to work out.
Hey.
So I want to work out. So I'm looking in the mirror this morning and I'm thinking, I'm looking pretty dang good.
Looking jack.
I was actually flexing in the mirror, doing that sideways thing where you're like, oh yeah, starting to thin up a little.
You grab the gut, and pull it up, so it's your chest.
Yeah, pull it up. All of a sudden, the pecs show up, and so I'm just really thankful. But it's the power of the mind. You know why it's the power of the mind?
Why is that?
Because I'm only on day 2.
Well, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You don't want to work out.
I don't want to?
No, you're lying to yourself. I know it. You don't want to work out. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to sweat. You don't want to do all that. I know that. I get it. But do you want to look good?
Yeah. Okay. See,
do you want to
told me
be in
this before.
shape?
Yeah.
Do you want to be able to go up and down the stairs without breathing heavy?
Yes.
Do you want to be able to pick stuff up at work and, impress the other guys when you're chugging around with a 2x12?
Yeah. Well,
how do you get there?
And apparently, I got you. Apparently, what I really want also is to look good.
Look good.
I just want to look good. Because if you look good, you feel good.
Yes.
Gives you confidence.
Yes.
Gives you motivation.
Yes.
It's the discipline to go after what you want.
And if you want to look good, you want to eat this.
I'm trying not to, but I am really curious. I've never seen this.
Try it. It's from Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia? How do you say this? Takdis?
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly it.
Takdis. Takdis. It is a flat fruit. Oh.
See, you read it. I didn't read it.
You didn't read it?
I didn't read it.
You just eat stuff without reading it? You had one of these?
Ready, shoot, aim.
Smells fruity.
You're smelling it before you eat it.
I always smell it.
Why do you smell it? Why you smack? You sound like Ryan.
Yeah. Let me back away.
Lips, Ryan. Lips.
That's really good.
Is it?
Oh, you didn't have one?
I've had a bunch of them, but the first one I had, I thought it was chocolate.
No, it's not chocolate.
No, I opened it up, threw it in my mouth, and it's not chocolate.
This is why you smell first. I knew for a fact it wasn't chocolate.
You like that?
As soon as I smelled it, it was really good.
It's
I'm trying to think what it reminds me of.
Reminded me of Fig Newtons.
Mm-mm.
Kind of a dried fruit.
Like the inside of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that Christmas fruitcake that, rotates from family to family.
Yeah, no, it's better than that. This is better than the fruitcake. All right. That's good. Thank you. So who gave it to you?
The nuts.
Anas. Yeah. Thank you, Anas. Really good. Takdis from Anas. Yeah, that's really good. What, he sends you a box of them?
Yeah.
And you only gave me one?
Yeah. You get one. I had 40.
Yeah.
Let's say you one.
No, he sent a package. There was only 2 in there.
Well, I would say, okay.
Week 4.
Chapter 4.
Yeah, I keep saying week 4.
Yeah,
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. Quick summary.
Yep.
And I mean quick.
Yep.
This is simple stuff, but you have to get it for it to be effective. So introduction, we covered anger is good. It was given you by God or evolution for those of you out there. It is a good thing. It is an emotion that you have been given that can help your life. Chapter 1 talked about anger. All emotions have a purpose, but anger has a specific purpose, and its purpose is to help you solve problems. It is energy and focus. Chapter 2, we went over the model that we're going to utilize. It's a model of interrelationship. It's a model of interaction. And we see where anger fits into this model so that here's where your power is in this human interaction model. And so that brings us to chapter 3, which we talked about boundaries. Because if you're going to be able to do anything with any kind of success, you have to focus 100% on yourself. Not other people, not what happened 5 minutes ago, not what might happen 6 months from now. Your focus has to entirely be on yourself in this present moment. And so when you take this good thing called anger and use that power and direct it at yourself, then you become powerful.
Yeah, it's amazing once you start to crack the code on what you do control and what you don't control, and how much time we waste focusing on what we don't control.
Oh, it's addictive.
Yeah.
Somebody just yesterday who knows this stuff was talking about that some friends had invited him on vacation, and this has been going on for 6-7 months, and they're politely declining, and they have this going on, and they got that going on, and no thank you, and they're thinking finances, but just it's not going to work out for them, and the conversation keeps coming up, and they keep politely declining for various reasons. And then the friends come in and say, look, we really want this to happen, so here's what we did. We bought the tickets for you. And so they couldn't decline. They had no more reason to decline, especially now. Mm-hmm. So I had to listen to half an hour of rehashing all of this. And I'm like, wait a minute, did you say you would go? Yes. So why are we rehashing what happened 6 months ago? And how does this help them? You're leaving in a couple of days, but what we're talking about is what you should have done, what you should have said 6 months ago, 5 months ago, how they pressured you, how they whatever. I don't understand how this is helpful. They're not in the present moment. They've already made the decision. They're going. So why are we spending so much time in the past?
Yep. What
do you control? It's magic once that starts to click. As in Jocko. Good.
Yep.
And that's a separation from the thing you don't control.
Yeah. It's almost the mental image that I just got there as you were talking is that when we're stuck in the past or fearful of the future, or we're stuck in the should, it's like constant uphill climbing. And then once we start to figure it out, like to accept in the present what has already happened, and then how can we make it good?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
This is such an easier way to go.
I agreed to go to the party, so how am I going to enjoy myself tonight?
Yeah. How are we going to make the best out of this?
Or I could spend an hour and a half on the way to the party complaining about having to go to the party. Mm-hmm. Stay home.
And yet we know that, but we still.
That's why I say it's like a drug. It's addictive. It's to rehash and to think through and to complain and to waller. People love doing it.
Yeah.
Even when they know it's not good for them, they still want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're all about this positive thinking, but I need to spend some time complaining about this. Okay. Go ahead, complain. You done?
If everybody got this, we would basically be out of work.
Definitely. I would not have a job. That's my goal. I tell people my job is to be obsolete.
Yeah.
The moment you don't need me anymore, get out. Because my job is to get you back on the road. Chapter 4, Perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a very powerful one. It's the chapter takes some time to walk you through and explain these things, but the explanation is pretty simple, and we've heard it before ad nauseum. In the other book, it's called Fundamental Number 2. But perceptions are like sunglasses. Perceptions are mental filters.
Mm-hmm.
And just like sunglasses, if I load in yellow tinted sunglasses and I look around, I see things yellow. If I load in Polarized sunglasses and put them on, everything looks crisp and clear. But it is the filter that is causing my mental experience of the world around me. So as I change sunglasses, I change my experience of the world around me. And perceptions are like sunglasses. We perceive things, they're mental filters, and we load them in. So we are choosing our emotional experience when we choose our perceptual process. And it's recognizing two basic filters that is extremely applicable to anger management. And this is where should statements come in. Because how do I know when I've loaded this filter into my brain and I am creating these experiences, I will hear myself saying these words: should, must, have to, need to. And when I'm saying these words, it's a reflection of the sunglasses I'm looking at this situation through. So when I am perceiving my world through a lens of shoulds, I am causing myself to have one out of two experiences. If things don't go like they should, I get
mad,
angry, irritated, frustrated.
Yep.
When things go like they're supposed to, I feel
nada.
Exactly. So this filter is designed for that specific purpose.
Yeah.
To get you frustrated and angry or nothing. And so just like you walk in and you see the trim's not done, and it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But when the trim was done, things were as they were supposed to be.
Didn't even notice.
Didn't register on your radar. How many times have you pointed out my overspray on the black wall out there?
A couple times.
And how many times have you noticed that I've
You did?
touched up the paint since you've pointed it out?
Yeah.
None.
Good examples.
And that's the way the filter works. When things are as they should be, we don't notice it. We don't notice other people driving on their side of the road. We don't notice the lights are working correctly. We don't notice the electricity is on and flowing. The heat is going. The floors are stable. The room is clean. We don't notice all of that. And that frees our brain to process other things. But when things are not as they should be, it pops up on our radar. And it brings with it the experience of irritation, frustration, anger, nothing. Mm-hmm. So if things are not as they should be, I start to get bothered. Second problem with should statements is it causes us to give away control. When things are not as they should be, we blame the other person. We blame the other situation for how we're feeling. We give away control of ourselves to other situations, to other people. We are making ourselves their victim. You shouldn't say that to me. You got to stop. So how do I get to feel better when you change?
Right.
But back last chapter, we can't control each other. So how did you get control over me? I just gave it to you when I said you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. I think one of the best examples of that, and you've used it, is on road raging. You know, giving up. People, they shouldn't be driving in that lane. They shouldn't have their blinker on, or they should have their blinker on.
Right.
They shouldn't all over the road.
And they have zero idea that they have control over us.
Yeah.
And then the third problem with it is that it builds the resentments.
Right.
Once somebody does what they shouldn't do, once I say they shouldn't do that and they do it, it now moves into the past.
Yeah.
So in the present moment, you shouldn't do that. You do it, I get mad. Now it's in the past. 1 second ago, I think about what you did and you shouldn't have done that. I get mad because I do my thinking in the present.
Mm-hmm.
So in the present, I think you shouldn't have done that, past tense. I get mad in the present over something you did in the past. It doesn't matter 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, because I do my thinking in the present. So when I think this way in the present, I get mad in the present. So 5 years ago, you shouldn't have done that, and you did. I get mad about what you did 5 years ago. So now I am resentful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm carrying grudges.
Bitter.
And this is the thing, and this is a real difficult concept to really kind of get your brain around. I am bringing that experience. I'm creating that experience brand new. When I think you shouldn't have done that 5 years ago, because I'm thinking about it in the present, I will experience it as if it is happening now. So if you did it twice, in this one moment, I experience 2 episodes of anger all at once.
Mm.
If you did it 3 times, 4 times, even though this one time is just one episode, because I bring all 4 into my mind in this one moment, I feel like all 4 are happening now.
Mm. And
so we talk about the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's a little thing. You didn't open the door for me. You didn't open the door for me last week. Oh my God. You didn't open the door you've never opened the door for me. I begin to experience all the episodes in this one moment. And so even though you didn't open the door for me, and that's one episode, I remember the 17 times you didn't open the door. And so I experience all 17 right now and go ballistic.
Mm.
And people think I'm insane. You don't understand. They never opened the door for me. Dude, it's just a door.
Mm.
No, you don't get it. You have total control over me. I'm experiencing all 17 episodes in this singular moment. The amount of frustration and anger is just overwhelming. And because I don't understand this anger model, I am now directing all of this energy at you, the thing I don't control, which in turn gives you control over me. You know where my buttons are now.
Sure.
You want to upset me? Just go to the door, start to reach your hand out, and then stop.
Yeah.
And watch me go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. One of the things that I'm very thankful for in this experience called life is the fact that I do not struggle with living in the past. And you know why? I cannot remember it. I don't remember past offenses.
Well, for those of us who don't have a traumatic brain injury.
Right. This is really helpful. But all the other stuff, the whole, I don't control, what they think, what they do, what they feel. Yeah, that's certainly a struggle.
Now, for those who do have the TBI, and they say they don't live in the past, they don't remember the past, here's what will happen, because they remember more than they think, is somebody will commit a small infraction and we won't say anything. And we will try to forget about it and put it away, and we'll go on. But it's sitting there.
Mm.
And so the next time they do it, even though I have not been thinking about what happened a month ago, when it happens again, it reminds me that this had happened a month ago. And so it pulls both of those in. So a lot of times people are super nice, very placid on the outside. You make a mistake. Oh, no, that's okay. That's all right. No, it's not a big deal. But inside, they're having a battle with themselves because the shoulds get turned on ourselves. Mm. We shouldn't be angry. We shouldn't make a big deal out of this. We should forgive. And so there's a pressure cooker inside of us where we're frustrated and angry about what they did or didn't do, but then we're shoving it down, putting pressure on ourselves to not be angry. And so what comes out on the surface may be very polite and courteous and respectful, but inside this thing is building. And then
until it blows.
One time I can no longer contain it and it comes blowing out. And those are the shocking moments, because this person has been so sweet and calm and nice for so long, to see them act that way. But what they've done is they've just compressed it all inside of them and ignored it until they can't ignore it.
I'm feeling this internally. Yeah.
So for the audience member out there who's not read the book or been to one of my classes or listened to any other the previous podcasts or went to the seminar or watched the seminar on TV, right now you're probably thinking, man, I shouldn't say should. And do you hear it? I shouldn't say should.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying should as I'm saying I shouldn't say should. So what do? You change your sunglasses.
Yep.
You change your filter. If you loaded this filter into your mind, then you can take it out and you can pick up a different filter and load it in. And the alternative filter here is preferences. What would you like? How would you like things to be? What would you prefer? What would be nice? I want to look good. Well, how do I do that? Start going to the gym. Notice I'm no longer putting pressure on myself, no longer getting stressed, frustrated with myself when I don't go to the gym. Oh, I should have gone to the gym today. I'm so beat myself up, angry at myself. My kids shouldn't yell and scream when they run around the house. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to go home to a nice quiet house? You feel differently suddenly when you change the mental filter. You change your emotional experience. How you think leads to what you feel. How you think and what you feel then leads to what you do. So if I'm thinking I would prefer, now I open the door to 3 different experiences. And we're rushing through this because we're trying to keep these podcasts to 20 minutes, but there's great more detail in the book. If I would like something, the door's an example I always use. If I'd like somebody to open the door for me and they don't, I got to open it myself. It's disappointing. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. It would have been nice if they had opened that door, and we're now shifting back into ourselves and out of their brain. Well, it would have been nice if they had opened the door. Maybe they were busy. Maybe their hands were full. Maybe they didn't notice. We don't get mad. When we get what we want, it may still be nothing. Like shoulds create an experience of frustration, anger, or nothing. Mm-hmm. Frustration, anger at ourselves, guilt, shame, pressure, or nothing. When we point this to the other people, frustration, anger, or nothing. Now, if we point to preferential perceptions at other people, I would like, it would be nice if they did this. When they don't do it, we feel disappointment. When they do it, we might still feel nothing. Go to Quick Trip. Everybody's opening the door for everybody. I really don't care. Hey, thanks, dude. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm still, instead of angry, I'm disappointed. And when I get what I want, it may be nothing, but it may be something. I got a lot of boxes. I'm heading towards the door. Somebody says, hey, let me get the door for you. That's nice of you. Thank you so much. A little joy just came into my day. Mm-hmm. And who created the joy? By how I think.
Yep.
I am now choosing how to experience the situation. So if I'm angry, if I'm thinking you should open the door and I'm feeling angry and you don't open the door, I may yell at you. How I think leads to what I feel, leads to what I do. And this makes perfect sense. They should open the damn door for me. Why were you yelling at them? Because they didn't open the door. They saw me standing there with the boxes and they just stick it. We feel justified in yelling at the other person.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm thinking I would like you to open the door and I get up and I got my boxes and you don't open the door, okay, whatever. I don't feel mad, frustrated, angry. I certainly don't feel like yelling at you. I now think about how to open the door myself.
Mm-hmm.
How I think leads to what I feel, leads to what I do.
Yeah.
And if I want the door to be opened, if I would like your help, what might I do right about now? I could ask, hey, would you get the door for me? And you say, yeah.
What do you prefer? Yeah.
Hey. And I get happiness. I get joy.
Mm-hmm.
Notice who's in control of me. Me, not you.
Yep.
You don't open the door, whatever. I walk on. There's no yelling. There's no screaming. There's no fight going on here. And when I get what I want, I get happiness. I get joy. This is probably 98% of the world's issues.
Yeah.
I had another gentleman from a country in the Middle East we will not name who was working on this concept, and he got it. And then he came in one day because it was really life-changing for him, how he talked to his wife, how he dealt with his children, how he was at work. He came in one day and said, Lance, everybody in my country thinks this way. Should, must, have to, need to. This is how everyone thinks. There is no preference. There is no wants. There are no desires. It is all about what should and shouldn't be. And when that clicked for him, it really kind of resonated for him. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the ways of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in his country thinks in terms of should, must, have to. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Learn to think differently. And once he started thinking differently, his whole experience of his life, his marriage, his children, as a father, as an employee, that all changed for him.
Hmm. That's really good. So I know somebody out there, is asking the question, is there ever a time where it could be a good should? So help explain that real quick.
Technically, no. And I say technically no because in some book in the Bible, Hebrews, is it Hebrews? Luke. Somewhere around there.
One of them.
Chapter 10, verse 28 to 34, Jesus said to Martha, very few things actually needed. And he was talking to her about her perspective. She was frustrated. She was angry because Mary wasn't in there helping her out, following the rules, doing all the things you're supposed to do to receive a guest.
Mm-hmm.
And she yelled at Jesus, look at her while I do all this work in here. And you need to tell her, go get her and help me out. And Jesus is like, whoa, lady.
Yeah.
You stress yourself out so much. Fundamental number one. There are very few things in this world actually needed. In fact, there's only one. So technically, you're better off approaching all situations as a preference. Mary has chosen what is better. What would you like? What would be better? What would you like? What would you prefer? What would be better? So technically, no. But until you get there,
yeah.
I challenge people to ask this question. Whenever they say should, must, have to, need to, got to, supposed to, which these are key words that you're to memorize and listen for every time you speak or think. Whenever you say should, step back and say, is that a law? Can I have him arrested? If the answer is yes, keep it as a should, but recognize you just put a should on yourself. Mm-hmm. If they shouldn't drive crazy on the highway, do you have a right to chase after them, pull them over, yell and scream at them?
Right.
What are you supposed to do if you see somebody driving crazy on the highway? You are supposed to pull your car over, call 911, make a report. if it's not a law, if you can't have them arrested, then change how you think.
Yeah. Put on a new filter.
If it's not a law, it is a preference. Man, they should have done this. Football. They should have done that. They should have thrown the ball. They should have run the ball. And they're up punching their TV and like, really?
Yeah. Throwing chairs through the TV.
In hindsight, 2020, would it have been better had they run the ball instead of throwing it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it makes total sense that this has such an impact on anger and how when should's involved, anger is not good. But when it is out of the picture and you feel this coming on, then it can be used for good because you're controlling you.
And this is, we don't control them. That's boundaries. We do control ourselves. And the very first step in any interaction, you're saying something. The first thing I have any power over is how I perceive it.
Yeah.
And so right at that point, we need to be clean. How am I perceiving this? What am I feeling that I'm actually generating here?
Sure.
What do I have control over? Am I making mountains out of molehills?
Mm-hmm.
That is a perceptual process where I'm over dramatizing something. My perceptions control how I feel. And so the reason we're talking about perceptions right out of the gate is because that's how the data gets to us, and that's how we create our own experience.
Good stuff.
Boom.
That is truly where last week the rubber hit the road, and now the rubber is all over the road. Yeah, when we get this, even start to get this under control, life is better. Power of the mind. Thank you, Doc.
These guys, thank you guys for tuning in this week.
Transform anger into advantage. Week. Next week, I keep saying week. Chapter 5.
Next week.
Have an awesome day. We'll see you then.